Hi, everybody. Pastor Deb here. Thanks for joining me for the Prayerful Pause with the Pastor. As I mentioned last time, I'm going through the book Holy Envy and lifting out some things that really spoke to me or that challenged me or that I wanted to share anyway. And one of the ideas that she explores is this concept of how generations ago we all thought that the Earth was at the center of the universe, right? And then along came Copernicus, who proved that the sun was the center. She's quoting a couple theologians in there who suggest that maybe it's time for us to have a Copernican revolution in terms of religion. That we are having to realize that Christianity is not the center of the universe. That we are in orbit around, God, however we think of God. We're in orbit around God, and that we are one approach to that, and one planetary body in orbit. And then we also have Hinduism, and we have Buddhism, and we have Islam, and we have Judaism, and Zoroastrianism, and all of those approaches that are equally orbiting around the center. My friend Avis and I years ago got to talking about God, and although I don't have it here, we pictured one of those Fisher-Price balls that has the different cutouts. A circle here and a square and a triangle and a diamond. And you try to put the shape in the ball. Except for me, I think I live inside the ball and God is all this space out here. And I need to find the way that matches me to get through the right hole. And Christianity fits for me. It's a bunch of values that I agree with, I approve of, I want to emulate. And so I fit through that hole. Someone else might not. The values that speak to them might be of not focusing on God, like Buddhism. Or it might be a relationship with multiple gods that speak to them, which would be Hinduism. And so we'd have our own entry point in that God ball, what I call the God ball. But this idea that we are due for a Copernican revolution in religion, I'm really fascinated by, because I think that that's very true. I think we see that in the millennials now, who they rail against only one way to do things. They are looking at multiple ways to do religion, multiple ways to study, multiple ways to work, which is why the at-home option is so appealing to many. They don't hold the same values that we do, and it's not a fault on our part for not conveying it, and it's not a fault on their part for developing new ideas. My dad always used to say, if the next generation does not surpass us, then we are in trouble. And so they have to constantly be reviewing and reinventing. And I think in terms of religions, at least from my vantage point in the Christian church, that's what's happening. From what I hear, it's also happening in Judaism and in Islam and the other religions, that the young people just anyone 40 and under, just wants to pick what works for them and cobble together their own faith system. And what's so wrong with that? It's like discovering something new, and probably new groups will come out of this, and yay for that. But this idea of a Copernican revolution, that Christianity is not necessarily, nor should it be, at the center of world life and history. We know it came about through the Euro-American colonization of the world, or the European colonization of the world, and how it came to us as Euro-Americans. But again, not necessarily the best. Something to think about. A revolution among all religions, that they are not the center. I wonder if Hindus think that they are at the center. Probably not in this country. Probably in India they might have to deal with the same thing. Maybe this is all part of the globalization of religion. Do you think? With instantaneous communication. A friend of mine is part of a multinational corporation. She works from home, but her team is all around the world. And frequently I will hear her say, "Oh no, I have extra work to do tomorrow because it's a holiday in India." Um, it's a part of life that, as a little singer from Oneonta, I never had to deal with. And frankly, as a minister in Rochester, I don't have to deal with that very much. It makes me want to have to deal with it just to broaden my perspective and awareness. But it goes back to that Copernican Revolution. Have a good thought about that today. All right. Until next time, thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you again. And I'm Pastor Deb of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. God bless. Take care. Keep thinking. Bye for now.